Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, this video I will explain how to solve the non-linear inequality. So there are three types of non-linear inequality, which is quadratic, rational and absolute values. So in this video, we only focus on quadratic and rational inequality first. Okay, there are steps to solve the non-linear inequality. Step number 1, you must bring all terms to one side. Okay. Step number 2, let other side 0. Step number 3, factor the left hand side completely. And then once you get the factor, find its zeros and plot it in the number line. And then number 5, construct the sign table and choose a value and then test sign. And then number 6 is answer it correctly. Okay, number 1 is quadratic inequality. So what is the first step? First step is to bring all term to one side. So the right hand side is not equal 0, right? So bring all term to one side and then simplify. Then you get quadratic, which is x squared minus 2x minus 8. And then step number 3, okay, factor completely. Okay, factor it completely, you get two factors, which is factor 1 is x minus 4, factor 2 is x plus 2. Okay, so to solve the quadratic inequality, we have two methods. Number 1 is by using sign table, and then number 2 by using a quadratic graph. Okay, so okay, step 1 until step 4, okay, then find zeros. Put zeros on the number line. If we have two zeros, means that it will divide the number line into 3 parts. And then we have 3 intervals here. Okay, so look at the question. We need the possible values of x that will give the expression always greater than 0. So we need the sign positive only. Alright, so factors are 2, x minus 4, x plus 2. So this is 0, negative 2 and 4. And then the interval to the left of negative 2 is negative infinity to negative 2. Does not include negative 2 because we want positive only. Okay, positive value only. Because if we include, okay, if it is closed interval here, means that we accept value x is equal to negative 2. Because when x is equal to negative 2, negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 0 times negative 6 is 0. So 0 greater than 0 is false statement. So that's why we exclude answer x is equal to negative 2. Same goes to 4. Okay, we exclude answer 4. So at 4 ni is open interval because we don't want to include 4. Because when x is equal to 4, 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay, and then 0 times 6 is 0. So the left hand side is 0 again. 0 is greater than 0. So this is false statement. That's why we need to exclude zeros 4 ni. Okay, and then choose one value that lie in the interval. Okay, and then test the sign for each factor. Okay, let's say we choose negative 3 because negative 3 lie in the interval negative infinity to negative 2. Okay, we choose 0 because 0 is the x value which is lie in the interval of negative 2, 4. We choose 5 because 5 is in the interval between 4 to infinity. Okay, here when x is equal to negative 3, so substitute negative 3 here. Negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. So the sign is negative. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Negative. And what is the operation of the expression? Okay, factor 1 and factor 2 multiply. Factor 1 multiply factor 2. So negative multiply negative is positive. Okay, factor 1 negative. When we substitute 0, 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Positive 2 when we substitute here, and then negative multiply positive is equal to negative. So same goes to this part lah. Okay, so now look at the questions. We want the value of x that give the expression always greater than 0. So we choose sign positive only. Okay, positive. We have two answers here, which is the first interval is negative infinity to negative 2, and then the second interval is for infinity. So we always use union to combine our answer, because we have two answers here. Okay, use union, not intersection. Union. Okay, this is method 1 using the sign table. Okay, method 2 is graphical. Using graphical method, but this one is for quadratic only. Okay, quadratic only you can use graph. For rational inequality, we cannot use graph. Alright, so bring all term to one side. Okay, and then factor it completely. Okay, factor, we get zeros. So since the coefficient of the quadratic is greater than 1, it is positive, then the shape is convex, which is smiley. Okay, and then we want the value of x that give the expression is greater than 0, which is, this is above the x axis. Kan, above the x axis. So shade the area. So the answer is here, which is from negative infinity to negative 2. Does not include negative 2, because when we substitute negative 2 here, negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 0 times something ni. 0 times negative 4 is 0. So 0 greater than 0 is false statement. Okay, so we have two shaded area. So the answer is this one lah. So combine with union sign. Okay, next is rational inequality. Rational inequality, same goes to quadratic. We must bring all term to one side, and then factor it completely. And then for rational, we do not cross multiply. Okay, please do not cross multiply, because we are not sure the value of the denominator ni, factor in the denominator. Okay, because if the value is negative, when we cross multiply, we need to reverse the inequality sign. So please don't cross multiply, because we are not sure the correct value or the true value of the factor in the denominator. So if the factor of the denominator confirm it is positive, then you can cross multiply. For example, if the denominator is in absolute value, then you can cross multiply lah. If the right hand side ni is greater than or equal to 1, for example. Okay, but this one, the right hand side is 0. Okay, we already bring all term to one side, and then let other side 0. So step 1, step 2 settle, and factor it completely. Factor the denominator, and then we want the value of x greater than or equal to 0, and also positive value. Okay, the sign is positive. But before we solve, we know that the denominator cannot equal 0, because when the denominator will equal 0, the rational ni will become undefined. So we must exclude answer 5 and also negative 2. Why? Because it is will give the expression undefined, because the denominator is equal to 0. So exclude. When it is exclude at the value of 5 and negative 2, we must put open bracket here. We must put open bracket. Okay, open bracket. Maknanya does not include negative 2 and also 5. So zeros. So now we have 3 factors here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 factors. Alright, so zeros are 5, negative 2 and 2. Draw in the number line. So when we have 3 zeros, means that the 3 zeros ni will divide the number line into 4 parts. 4 parts. Alright, so write the zeros. We start from negative x minus 2, x minus 5, x plus 2, and then calculate the resulting sign. Okay, to the left of negative 2 is negative infinity to negative 2. So why open bracket? Because from the question we know that we cannot include the negative 2. So open bracket, so negative 2 to 2. Why dekat 2 is close interval? Because we want the value of x, which give the expression will equal to 0. Because when x sama dengan 2, when x is equal to 2 minus 2 is 0. 0 divide something is 0. So 0 greater than or equal to 0, it is true statement. So we need to include endpoint, which is 2. Okay. And then test the value, we choose test sign. Okay, calculate. And then, but before that, you must find the product of the sign of x minus 5 and x plus 2. Means that buat bawah ni dulu lah. So negative multiply negative is positive, and then we know that negative divide positive is negative. Okay, so negative multiply positive is negative. Negative divide negative is positive. Okay, so buat bawah ni dulu. Buat this one, and then after you get the sign, and then atas bahagi bawah. Okay, so look at the resulting sign. Go back to the question. We want the value of x. We want the value of the interval which give us greater than 0 and also 0. So just copy the interval. So this is the final answer. Okay, thank you.